You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I am back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports 2. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe, like, comment, share it out. And if you're watching on Spotify and or YouTube and or Rumble, thank you guys for watching. So let's get right into this. We've got yet another update on Michael Irvin just a few days after another update on Michael Irvin. I put that video out a couple of days ago. It did really well on this channel. So we're going to talk about the civil case and something that a lot of people are interested in. You know, Michael Irvin is gone from television right now. We feel like unjustly. We've felt like always unjustly. NFL Network seemed to just hear the story. ESPN seemed to just hear the story and then suspended Michael Irvin. He has not been convicted of any crimes. And we feel like, our opinion, and just listening to Michael and listening to what happened coming out from the attorneys, the circumstances around the case, they don't pass the smell test. Okay, it just felt like maybe there was a agenda for profit at work here. All right, in other words, some people realized it was Michael Irvin, realized that Michael Irvin had had some issues back probably in the 90s, felt like they might be able to take advantage of him, and concocted something. Now, who knows? All the accusations may be 100% true. But again, benefit of the doubt here should be a thing. And it should be a thing for the NFL and ESPN as well. So let's get to this because Irvin, this is an update on the NFL. And I mean, he's been suspended now. We're looking at 5 months. And it's going to remain, it looks like. His suspension is going to remain in place. Because there's nothing involving the outlet that leads you to believe they're willing to change their position. Now, there's something very interesting in here about the fact that, and we know Michael's not suing the NFL. He's not suing ESPN. We do feel like maybe he could if he wanted to, but he wants his job back. All right. And I'm sure he feels like, look, I don't want to do that. I want to come back to the network. He's great on NFL Game Day. In my opinion, he's sort of like the secret sauce to that entire pregame show, and I didn't watch it before the Super Bowl because he was not there. Let's do this. Michael Irvin's lawsuit against Marriott and several employees of one of the hotel's chain's locations remains ongoing, and so goes for his NFL Network suspension. Irvin's suspension as an analyst has spanned 5 months as a source with knowledge of the situation told Front Office Sports that the Hall of Fame receiver status at the NFL-owned outlet remains unchanged. Irvin was suspended days before February's Super Bowl after an encounter with an employee of the Renaissance Phoenix downtown hotel where Irvin was accused of harassment. The employee, referred to as Miss Doe and Jane Doe in the civil case filed in Maricopa County, hasn't backed off her allegations according to court documents obtained by Front Office Sports. Jane Doe admits she reported to security and management personnel of the hotel that Irvin made inappropriate sexual comments to her, exhibited aggressive body language towards her, and said he would come back to find her again in a few evenings. Lawyers working on behalf of Marriott and the woman wrote, you know what's odd about this whole thing? I hear this and I'm like, you know, back in the day, some of this stuff, and I'm just going to be honest, sounds a lot like flirting. Okay? I'm going to be real. I mean, it's like people forgot how people used to talk to each other when they were physically interested. It's kind of odd. All right. I mean, guys, if you were ever in an office situation, a corporate office situation back in the 90s, early 2000s, I can tell you the shit that came out of people's mouths from both women and men. You notice I said women and men, because some of the things that came out of women's mouths would make everybody blush. I assure you. And they're straightforward. And there's no confusion. I mean, I'm just saying. Marriott, but look, the society we live in now, everybody is ultra and hyper aware and sensitive to everything, it seems like. Marriott's lawyers refuted basically all the allegations laid out in Irvin's amended complaint on the woman's behalf. Irvin's contention that no harassment, assault, or inappropriate conduct occurred during this brief interaction between Mr. Irvin and Miss Doe. That the video surveillance that Irvin's lawyers went to great lengths to obtain showed Miss Doe return to work without incident or observable distress after her unremarkable interaction with Mr. Irvin. In other words, I guess Michael never came back, right? She's claiming that he told her he would. Irvin's legal teams claim that she made this false report with actual malice and knowledge of the falsities of her statements. Allegations from Irvin's lawyers that the Renaissance and Marriott, and this is where things are. This is the most interesting part to this entire story, in my opinion. The Renaissance and Marriott made this false report to the NFL. At minimum, a reckless disregard of truth or falsity. Now, again, I've been vocal about this. If you're innocent, scream it from the hills, the top of the mountain, which Michael Irvin has done, and then sue the ever-loving hell out of somebody. And that's exactly what Michael's done. I mean, they're talking about $100 million here. All right? Irvin, and he made it clear the other day, he wants to prove a point in this. You're not only not going to do this to me, but hey, Marriott, hey, employees of Marriott, we're going to make sure you better not do this to anybody else in the future. And he wants to kill their pocketbook, which, let's be honest, the pocketbook thing is very likely what this accuser may very well be after. Why are there so many entities involved in this? That's what I would love to know. It's like there was a concocted plan among a group of people that knew exactly who Michael Irvin was. I mean, the playmaker's face, anybody can spot him. Everybody knows who he is. Irvin's Dallas-based lawyer, Levi McCatherine, and his attorney based in Phoenix, Daniel Dowd, did not respond to FOS. His agent, Steve Mandel, also did not respond for comment. This lawsuit is the third filed against Marriott since Irvin was evicted from Marriott, suspended by NFL Network, and had his scheduled appearance the Friday before Super Bowl canceled. Irvin sought $100 million in damages in the first lawsuit in Texas County Court, but his legal team are more interested in the surveillance footage, which was obtained and made public after the federal judge approved an expedited discovery request in March. The first lawsuit, along with a federal lawsuit, was dismissed before the current case in Phoenix was filed on March 14th. And there is a reason he did that. He wanted to be able to get down to the local level of the franchise owner in Arizona. And he couldn't do that the way he previously had that lawsuit. Since surveillance footage in public areas by law can't include audio, the video didn't exonerate, even if Irvin spoke as if it did in the release. I'm so thankful for this video because without it, I just don't know where this would have gone. Beyond being sidelined by both NFL Network and ESPN, Irvin claimed in court filing that he's had multiple planned public appearances, including appearances from sponsors such as Cigna and Pepsi Company, and at a fundraiser for Wounded Warriors Project. I guess those have all been canceled. Irvin has been forced to cancel important charitable fundraisings and other engagements, including his annual Michael Irvin charity football game. Quote, he also has not been contacted for any future public appearances or engagements since defendants published their false statements surrounding what allegedly occurred at the hotel. You know, we didn't even think about that in all this. All the things that somebody like a Michael Irvin, an NFL Hall of Famer, would have going on, all being wiped away. Again, Nobody's been convicted of anything here. With no hearing set in the case, it's not clear when the case will be resolved as the NFL season inches closer. Meanwhile, what would be his 15th season at NFL Network remains in limbo. And I can tell you this, having attempted to consume that pregame show without him, boy, they miss him badly. And this is from somebody that really likes Mariucci and really likes Rich Eisen. Kurt Warner, too, I guess I need to be fair there. I mean, I like all those guys, but Irvin is sort of the charisma, instant fired upness, just blasted onto the show. And we know how Michael is. And Lord knows he's great, versus somebody like Stephen A. Smith. I've said Michael Irvin, if he could get exonerated in all this, or if this could end, he would have been a good guy to have replaced Shannon Sharp over at Fox Sports for Undisputed. And there's a relationship there with Skip because Skip covered the Cowboys back in those kind of days of Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and, of course, the triplets. So, that would have been very interesting. He's missing out on other opportunities here, too. Not only NFL Network, but everything else going on. Look, there's going to have to be more proof come out. A lot of people have asked me, well, why did you hammer Deshaun Watson and you're not hammering Michael Irvin? Look, Deshaun Watson had 24 people come out, okay? At some point, if it would have been one or two, I would have been on a different angle with the Deshaun Watson thing. I would have said, well, this feels sinister. This feels money-related, blah, blah, blah. He had 24, and then the New York Times come out and said that they actually were able to track down 100 women. And like 77, they could literally put a name on involving Watson. Something very sinister was going on with that guy. It's a completely different situation. Tell me what you think. In other words, there's so much smoke you can't ignore fire at that point, right? Tell me what you think, Black and White Sports 2 supporters. Peace them out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.